Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, and today we are going to check out another brand new Jurassic World Dino Tracker set, and this time we've got the Search and Smash truck. And as you can see, this set contains a very cool looking truck. We also have a human character as well as an Atrociraptor, and I think this is the first time we've had an Atrociraptor that's not like one of the Dominion versions. Like, this is a totally new, completely random paint scheme that Mattel has chosen for this Atrociraptor. So a little bit different than, pretty much every Atrociraptor we've seen prior outside of the minis, because there were a few totally random ones in the minis. But it looks pretty cool, and definitely the first time we've seen a vehicle so far in the Dino Trackers line, which is really quite exciting. But as far as the packaging goes, you can see it looks very nice. We again have our blue and beta up there to the top left, Jurassic World logo and Dino Trackers logo as well. And then if we turn it around and take a look here at the back, you can basically see some of the stuff included. Like, we've got some tracking gear, like, of course, Dino Trackers. It makes sense that we would continue to have very cool tracking gear. We also have, again, a shot of the Atrociraptor smashing the front of the truck. And then there's also a shot down here of some upcoming Mattel figures that I'm absolutely dying to get a hold of, so hopefully they release at some point in the near future. But again, really excited to pop this open and check it out, so let's do that right now. So here is our truck. We've also got our human character here, which I don't know who he's actually meant to be. I think he's just like a generic mercenary. We also have his weapon, and then we've got the Atrociraptor as well as its tracking gear here. So definitely some fun stuff included with this one. I don't know how well this one's going to stand, because it feels like the leg's just not... There we go. It wasn't sitting in the right spot. Like, Mattel has those kind of like preset positions for the leg, and it seems like I kind of had to maneuver it a little bit out of their preset area for it to stand. But it definitely looks like another really fun set. The Atrociraptor certainly is not my favorite paint scheme version of that. Like, I'm not a big fan of the paint scheme of this one at all, which is pretty upsetting, because a lot of the new Dino Trackers figures have had really nice paint apps for the majority, outside of, again, we usually don't have nail paint, which we haven't so far, and then of course we continue that trend here, but this is just one of the, I think, uglier paint schemes that we've had for any of the Dino Tracker figures so far. But regardless, I'm pretty psyched to get a closer look at all of this, so let's go ahead and do that right now. So beginning with our Mercenary, you can see, again, I guess that's what we would call him, but you can see that he looks okay. A little generic, honestly. It actually doesn't even really look that great as a whole. Again, it looks, like I said, okay, but it almost looks like something that I would see in like a Chap May set rather than a Mattel figure. Regardless, again, we do have some articulation for him, as we can turn the head. He has like a really weird look to his face. I don't know. He looks really pale, almost like he's a vampire, disguising himself as a mercenary working for someone, I guess InGen or someone, but you can see that his lips are painted. We also have sunglasses for our mercenary. He has black hair. Again, I assume he's a mercenary. We also have a hat there. There's not really too much detailing or anything as far as the hat goes. It is painted with a green. As you move down, you can see that we have a vest. The vest does have some fun stuff attached to it, of course, non-removable, but you can see like a weapon and stuff in there, handgun, and we also have quite a few pockets and everything going on. As you move around the back, you can continue to see, again, pretty much that same style as far as that goes. As you move down, he's got kind of like a blue shirt on underneath the vest, and you can see that we've got some nice like wrinkling and stuff showing off as far as the outfit moving down his sleeves. And as we move down, he has, I guess, gloves on. It kind of looks like it's just hands, but I assume he's wearing gloves because they are still painted with that same bluish tone that we see for the arms. And then as we move down, we have a greenish pair of pants, and you can see that there is definitely a lot of wrinkling and creasing and everything going on here in the pants of our, again, random human figure here. But you can also see that he's got boots on. The boots are really nicely sculpted, actually. Like, they definitely look really nice, but we have basically like the bare minimum of paint apps for this, because the entire lower half is just that one tone of green. The boots and the pants are the exact same tone of green. We can see that we don't have like laces or anything painted out, not that I really expected that. And then up here you have, again, a brown for the vest. The blue completely overtakes the arms and everything, including the hands, and that's basically about it outside of the head area. And again, articulation-wise, we do have the articulation in the neck. We do have articulation in the arms, which can swivel and everything, move okay. You've also got the articulation here in the elbow. That's really about it for that area. You can swivel the midsection, as well as, again, the legs can go out away from the body. Pretty much your standard Mattel articulation, same deal for the knees. Again, you can swivel. So the articulation of the human figure is pretty much what you get when it comes to a normal human in the Mattel mainline. Then we've got ourselves the truck, and the truck does actually look really nice. I definitely am a fan of it. I love the coloration of it, very InGen-like, I would say. And you can also see that we've got that beautiful Jurassic logo here on the side. I like the nice stripe, the nice bluish stripe running through. The truck as a whole is a silver tone, but then we also have areas of blue, like you can see right here, and has that kind of metallic type of a look to it almost. As far as the bluish tones, pretty much exactly as you would expect to see on a truck. And you can see that the back also sports a nice Jurassic logo, which is pretty cool. The tail lights are a sticker, so, you know, they actually look pretty good as far as that goes. And again, the detailing of the truck, you know, is okay. It doesn't look overly detailed. It's not anything that's really, really impressive to write home about. We also have those lights up there on the top, and you can see those lights as well have stickers on them. And then if you look here on the inside of the truck, everything here on the inside looks really nice. The actual detailing here on the inside looks pretty darn good as a whole. Really quite nice. You can see the steering wheel and everything over there. We even have cup holders right there in the middle, so they really did do a pretty good job as far as the detailing goes there on the inside of the truck. And we do have doors. Yes, we can open the doors, which is definitely a plus. They work pretty nicely. And then, of course, we have an area up here that we can smash. I don't know if it just smashes in yet. I guess it just smashes in. I was wondering if we could take that off entirely to kind of look in there, but it doesn't seem like that's possible. You can see, again, that we have the headlights and everything here on the front as far as, like, stickers and everything goes. So the truck definitely looks really cool. It certainly is another really cool vehicle for the Jurassic line. Something that we definitely haven't had, at least as far as I can recall, we haven't had a truck like this prior, so the truck is absolutely awesome. I would say the highlight of the set, because once we get to the Atrociraptor sculpt is definitely the same sculpt we've had numerous times before in this line. In fact, I think there's only really been like three different sculpts, because there was this one, then there was the battle damage or extreme damage version, and then there's also the crouching version. Again, not taking into consideration like the basics or anything like that, or the minis, but you can see, again, sculpt-wise, definitely the same Atrociraptor. I think it's the same sculpt that we had for Ghost, but paint-wise is the only thing really different about this one, and primarily we have a very light tone, almost like a light tannish type of a tone of color for the primary body color. But you can see up here in the face we have like some blacks that kind of stripe there down out of the eye socket and border all around the eye and kind of splotch around. You can see a little bit there in the palate area. You can also see a speckling that is pretty abundant throughout the course of the figure. Looks to be a black speckling as well. And then we go down here to the lower jaw, and we have a really random reddish tone down here, and that red starts to kind of spread down into the throat and neck region of our Atrociraptor. I don't really like the red too much. I feel like it just looks a little out of place, a little weird. We do have some fairly nicely painted eyes, though, if my camera would focus on it, with kind of like an orangish tone, and then a black slit-like pupil. See if the paintwork is just as nice over here. Yeah, it definitely looks good on both sides, which is a plus. Very nice, very precise paintwork. We, of course, have an articulated jaw, and the inside of the mouth sports a nice light tone, as well as kind of like a yellowish tone for the teeth, which also looks pretty good as far as the paintwork. I don't really see anything sloppy going on in there. Nice gloss coat added as well. But as you move down, again, you have more of that red kind of spreading here throughout the, like shoulder area, and then leading down, and the entire arms actually are like that red. It's almost like a red orangish type of a tone, but you can see the entire arms are that coloration. No painted nails, of course. And then you can see it kind of designed back a little bit further, and then it's just gone. That's it. And then we have this black picking back up here on the back, and we can see it stripes across and then splotches for a little bit here over the Jurassic Facts app area, and then that as well is gone. And then we don't have anything else as far as the coloration goes outside of the original kind of like tannish color. And then you can see the speckling. The speckling is really obvious right there in the nails, and that again is super frequent throughout this figure. Like, it is everywhere on this Atrociraptor. But I'll actually grab the Facts app code here for you guys to add this one to your collection. Here you go. If it would focus on it, there we go. If you would like to add that one to your collection. But the Atrociraptor as a whole it's cool to have another version of one. Again, a version that we haven't had, and also one that's not from Dominion. It's just definitely not the best paint scheme for one. And then the extras that we also have, again, here is the weapon for our, random human figure, the Mercenary. Again, we have a very nice looking weapon. It's actually really quite nicely sculpted out, so that is a plus as far as that goes. Probably one of the nicer weapons I think I've seen from a Mattel set. And then we also have the tracking gear on top of everything, and that as well looks pretty good. And I am pretty excited to see the Atrociraptor with the tracking gear on. You can see it's kind of a grayish tone, and definitely is really nicely detailed. It might actually be the nicest looking tracking gear as far as the detailing standpoint goes that I've seen on one of the Dino Tracker figures so far. It'd be a toss-up between this and the Sinotyrannus tracking gear. But let's go ahead, throw this on our Atrociraptor, and check it out from there. So basically, you put the tracking gear over the head, and then it goes down onto the neck area here and kind of wraps around the stomach. And it looks pretty cool. I actually love the fact that we are getting this kind of tracking gear. It also sort of looks like capture gear. It's just something that, to me, is very Dino Riders-like. And I am dying for a Dino Riders line at this point in my life. So it's really neat to have this going on with the Mattel line. Again, I was a huge fan of Mattel adding the capture gear not long ago. So I definitely love the, tracking gear as well. But as far as the vehicle goes, again, you can see that it moves very nicely. So straight away we have that awesomeness about the vehicle. And then, of course, as far as a playability standpoint goes, the big selling point for this one is, of course, the fact that the Atrociraptor basically can jump down and smash in the front of the truck. And I will say that works really nicely and is actually super cool. So it's very easy to just put that back up, and again, your vehicle looks as good as new, and then boom, the Atrociraptor's back, and then smashes right in there to the vehicle there. So as far as the playability goes, it's definitely fun. There's not too much going on as far as action features or anything, but that feature alone definitely is pretty neat. And then as far as the Atrociraptor, of course, it's all the standard articulation, because I didn't mention it before. You have the articulation of the jaw, and then the neck can swivel, move up, down, all over the place. Arms can move forward and back, legs can move forward and back, and then swivel tail, and that's really about it. The legs and everything, they don't come out away from the body, so there's not too much else going on as far as an action feature goes. As far as a size goes, I really don't know that we need a size, because of course the human figure is right there in the 3 3/4 inch size range. The Atrociraptor we have measured plenty of times before. The vehicle we'll give a measurement to, just because that's probably the only thing we'd really be curious on, and now we just knocked over our human figure. But you can see it's about 10 inches or around 25.5 centimeters in length for the vehicle, and then height-wise about 4.5 inches or 11.5 centimeters for a size comparison. There is Mr. Papo T-Rex, the Attack Pack Colovosaurus, and Robert Muldoon from the Mattel Jurassic World toy line, and you can see that they as well kind of match up exactly as you would expect here. Again, we are pretty familiar with most of the figures here in this set as far as sizes go. Again, the human figure would be the same as your standard human figure in the Mattel line. The Atrociraptor we've had like 6 or 7 of probably already, so we're pretty familiar with that, I would imagine, or at least we should be at this point. And then, of course, the vehicle should roughly be obvious next to the human figures here, but also, again, it's pretty much like the standard size range for a Mattel vehicle like this. So this brand new Mattel Jurassic World Search and Smash truck is definitely fun. It's another really cool release from Mattel, although I wish they would have given the Atrociraptor a different, more appealing paint scheme. I feel like that's like the biggest downside to the set, is just how ugly, in my opinion, the paint scheme is. Again, I have heard some people say they like it, but I am just not a fan of it at all. Again, sculpt-wise, it's great. It is a gorgeous Atrociraptor, but paint-wise, definitely not my cup of tea, and I feel like it as a whole is easily the ugliest Atrociraptor Mattel has released yet. But I do like the tracking gear that is attached to the Atrociraptor. That is really cool, and it's definitely very nicely sculpted. So that is a big plus for the Atrociraptor, even if the paint scheme is pretty ugly. Our human figure is probably, in my opinion, the worst human figure that Mattel has released, because he just looks so cheap and generic. He doesn't look high quality, he doesn't look as nice, not even remotely as nice as your usual human character from Mattel. Again, he looks like somebody I would have purchased in a Chap May set rather than a Mattel set. So even though he sports the same amount of articulation and everything as your standard Mattel human, his overall appearance, in my opinion, just doesn't look that great, and also looks quite cheap. The truck, though, of course, is the star of the show, and the truck is really quite nice and does have a fun action feature there with the hood smashing in. I really do like that, and if I were a kid, I would have a blast with this because it would just be so much fun to have the dinosaur do that to the truck. And Mattel continues to come up with really quite creative vehicles and damage to the vehicles, and I really do quite like that aspect. And as a whole, the truck looks really nice, the sculpt is nice, the paint is really nice, so definitely a very appealing looking vehicle, and also again one that would be very nice for display purposes as an adult collector. You know, throw a dinosaur there smashing in the hood and it would definitely create a really cool diorama. And of course, you again have the weapon with the human character, which is also quite nice. So as a whole, this is a really cool set. Not the best set from Mattel, but definitely really cool, with a little bit of ugliness as far as the color scheme of the Atrociraptor and the human figure, but the vehicle itself makes up for it. So if you are interested in picking this up, I will include a link in the description to where I purchased mine on Amazon. If it's not in stock currently, again, as always, just kind of add it to your list and sign up for in-stock notifications, and hopefully you'll be able to snag it if it comes back into stock. It may be in stock, I have no idea, but again, check the link in the description, grab this when you have an opportunity to do so, and like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.